It is now 6:30 and I call our meeting to order. We have one deletion. The road commissioner's report portion with the Maranville Road brush cutting is deleted. Is there anyone who has anything relating to road commissioner who needs to discuss anything at that time? Otherwise, we will delete that portion of the agenda.
Is it deleted because it's resolved, or just because people didn't show up?
Yes, it's
Yes.
resolved.
It's resolved,
Good to hear.
yes. So, not hearing that anyone has anything to discuss at that time, the road commissioner report portion of our meeting is deleted for this evening. We will start with Selectboard Minutes of November 17th.
Yeah, I move we approve.
I'll second that.
Please look them over. Hearing no comments, all those in favor of approving the minutes?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
We now have pay orders of December 12th, 2025. With my minutes. You have your pay orders?
Nope.
Oh, there they are.
Got
I
'em.
just found them, yes.
Okay.
And is this amount correct, Sandy? Of $60,583.66?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, who did that? Did pay orders?
I think we need to make a motion.
I just did that.
Oh, great, I didn't hear it. And do we have a second?
Second.
And no discussion.
I have a question. I see a number of things that say donation, could be my newness. Are the donations approved by the select board or town meeting?
So these are the appropriations.
Right.
When we have our appropriations budget meeting, we decide what we're going to, and that's what these all are. These are the payments of the appropriations from
Okay.
last year, or last budget season.
Good question.
All those in favor of approving the pay orders?
Aye.
Aye.
We are moving on to honorable mentions. We would like to thank Don Emery and Craig Niewicki for their extraordinary efforts identifying and cataloging grave sites at the Green Hill Cemetery, and for Vito for their sizable donation to the town hall food shelf. Do we have public for comments? Okay. We are on to fiscal year 27 budget, public safety.
There
Good
you go.
evening. I'm sure Sandy provided you with what we're looking for an increase for the upcoming contract season. I have run some numbers for myself quickly today. So the last contract, 24 to 25, we had 728 total incidents for the town of Wallingford. Thus far in the contract that we're currently in, which is 5 months today, we're at 376. So if we keep going, we're probably looking at over 1,000 calls compared to 728 in the last full contract. So things are still busy, and you know the area's no one's without their issues, and every town has them. So that's just to show, and that's currently. The previous contract was 24 hours. The current contract is 28. So I did mention that I know we talked the last time, last time we increased 4 hours. I didn't know if we were looking at an increase of coverage hours for the upcoming contract. session for 25, 26.
So do you see the increase in incidents? Is that because you're spending more time?
I think part of it could be because we're here another 4 hours.
Yeah.
But there's also an uptick with general tomfoolery of things that
Yeah.
happen. All the towns honestly are up with calls, response from us.
Really?
Just kind of the nature of the beast at this time, so.
Did you say that Clarendon was interested in doing?
They were interested in it. The last I heard from them, I didn't sound like they were going to increase.
Okay.
They're at 30.
Okay.
30 or 32? 30 currently. And it didn't sound like they were gonna make an increase. We were kind of hoping to get Clarendon to increase and then to get Wallingford to increase and then combine the two.
Yeah.
Where we would have a deputy assigned, which would increase your response from us for hours. So if we were in Clarendon, when we're in Clarendon now, the two are separate. So when we work in Clarendon, a call comes in here, we don't come.
Right.
If we combine the two, if we're in Clarendon and a call occurs here, we'll come. It's like West Rutland Proctor do the same thing. So we have one deputy. They each purchase 40 hours a week. In a sense, they get 80 hours of coverage because we always have somebody on during that time frame. So we can be in Proctor, they'll respond to West Rutland and go back and forth as calls come in. Also balancing to make sure that each town does get their 40. If, you know, we really haven't run into an issue with them getting 40 because, like I said, it's busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that we still couldn't do something like that.
Right.
You know, I'd have to approach them about it, and Lieutenant has mentioned it to him, but we really haven't got down to, you know, the logistics of it without knowing how Wallingford felt
Okay.
about.
So would that require then an increase to 40 hours for each town?
It wouldn't. We can make it work basically if we had 30 and 30.
Okay.
We could work it that way. They're both kind of even. You know, that way we have a 60-hour a week contract. So our 60 hours combined with the two towns, and you know, work it that way. 40 and 40 is easier for us to balance because we have two people assigned. They each work a 40-hour a week. Easy done. 60 is a little bit more to manage, but it's not that we couldn't do it.
I mean, I know we've been increasing slowly every year to get back to where we used to be.
Yes.
Oh, really?
'Cause they cut way back
Way
years
back.
ago.
Okay.
Because it used to be 40?
You were 40.
We were,
And we're trying to slowly increase back
And it
to
got
that, is
cut
what we've
back
been
to
talking the last
20?
few years.
Yes, 20. It was cut in
it
half.
was cut in half.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think.
Is that a budget decision?
I think so.
Yes. But I think a lot of our complaints, a lot of times involve not having sheriff's presence
Yeah.
in the town. And because we have to take, every time there's a ticket and it goes to court, or paperwork, it comes from that 28 hours. So it doesn't take much to eat up that
Yeah,
time.
and traffic stops this year already in the current contract are at 226. So if you take 100 of those are contested, yeah, you're taking time away from patrol to cover a traffic court.
So is Clarendon, are they hesitant about the hours or just the whole arrangement?
I don't know, I didn't speak to them about combining, maybe the lieutenant did, and he could speak to that, but it was, they've been at 30 from the start and have kind of been stuck there. I'm not really sure why they're hesitant.
I think the increase is just a budgetary for them on whether or not to increase, but when I spoke with the board chair, they have a Leo representative liaison that we deal with directly, and I spoke with both of them on the cooperative, and they were highly interested in that. I mean, essentially it doubles the coverage without an increase in time, you know, how many hours they have an officer available. So they were highly interested in that, but obviously we needed to kind of see where both boards were before we got the cart too far in front of the horse.
So is this 28 hours? You might have already said this. I'm sorry if I'm having to repeat yourself. Is this 28 hours an increase from what we have right now?
28 is what we
Currently at
have now.
28.
We're at 28, so
Yes.
this would be Yes.
And yeah, anything above that would be an increase to the next contract would start June 1st.
Okay.
So we've gone up 4 hours the last 2 years. So we went from 20 to 24, 24 to 28. And so if we did that again, 32.
Yeah.
Could you tell me, Sheriff Fox, how you decide where to put people for the best response, like more speeding tickets, more this, more that?
A lot of where we direct the deputies to work an area is based off public input. You know, was it last summer, I think we had an issue on Main Street with trucks and excessive speed. So we focused in, you know, particularly the areas coming into town where people might be carrying that 50 mile an hour into the 30 mile an hour zone. And I haven't heard any more complaints. I don't know if you guys have got more work on that. So we do use a lot of public input, and the deputies will make their own determinations on where they have more speed that they get, you know, when they're out working, and they'll work those areas themselves. But we have a very proactive officer that works down here now, so he stays busy. It's not, you know, there's not a lot of idle time with him, so.
I have had some calls from citizens who probably watch everything you do. These folks live on Creek Road, several people on Creek Road. Wonder why is the cruiser sitting there on Creek Road for several hours? I'm sure they speed on Creek Road.
We actually had multiple complaints of 3 or 4 vehicles traveling at extremely high speeds on Creek Road. We were able to get 1 or 2, I think.
I believe we got 2 of them.
We got 2. The second one ended up being a little more than we bargained for. Ended up being a use of force with the person was very agitated. They got arrested for resisting arrest. So, and it was it was like 55 miles an hour over the posted speed limit.
Wow.
So that is why we've spent some majority of time down there. We're trying to, you know, if it's and it was somebody going to work, so they're only going through once in the morning and once at night. So if we got to kind of hit the time that they're there in hopes that we can, you know, find who the person responsible is. And Creek Road is a bypass from Route 7 to go to Rutland, and people want to drive 65 on that as much as they do Route 7, so you do have some fairly high speeds on that road.
Yeah.
In spots, you know, there's spots where they can't maintain that, but.
If we increased it by another 4 hours to 32,
By what?
if we increased it another, it seems like you have capacity to absorb more hours.
We do.
So we've been doing for the last few years 4 extra hours a year. So we're at 28. If we went to 32, you can tell me if my math is incorrect, but it looks like it would be $78,942.
I can take your word for it because I can't do that here.
Which is actually a little bit under what we budgeted in fiscal year 25-26 for our special officer contract.
Yep.
So just in case people are interested of seeing about increasing our hours, seeing if the board might be interested in increasing again another 4 hours and making it 32 rather than 28. Seems like we have enough to keep them busy.
I'm sure we could use them 40 hours a week. I'm concerned about the size of it in the budget. It's a big ticket item. And, you know, I might entertain going 2 hours increase, but.
Yeah, that's why we've been doing the 4, to not do the big jump all at once.
So I'm suggesting an even smaller increment.
And we could do a smaller increment. It will still be under the 79,000 that we budgeted for this current.
Yeah.
It's
Fiscal
still under
year.
what we're budgeted for, even with the increase.
Yes,
So was the
that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Was the seven?
No?
No, It's, I mean, our budget right now is 78,125. If you look in the memo, so they charge 54 an hour, 54.07 an hour. And if you times that by 5%,
Right there.
it's 270.
Okay.
If you add 270, add the 270 to,
This year's 79.
Yeah, 5677, I think.
yeah, 56, oh my gosh. 5677 times, if you did 30
Okay, that's,
times 52 equals, that'd be 88,561.
so what is our,
So if you did, so their hourly rate this year is 54.
okay.
If you added 5%, it would be
Gotcha, didn't
5677.
add the 5.
Add the 5%, 5677, then times it by 30 times 52. It'd be come out to 88, like 88,600,
So that's
88,600.
88.6.
If we want.
That's for 30.
And
So
that's
if we went
what
up
the,
$2, you're saying it'd be about a $10,000 increase.
yeah, yep,
And then maybe if we did 30 and Clarendon did 30,
yes.
you'd have, that might work out.
So that would
And when
be that
tickets are
2-hour
paid,
increase that Ann was talking about.
We get a certain dollar amount when tickets are paid and submitted.
From traffic revenue,
Right.
and
So
I
you do
don't-
have revenue also for
Right.
this.
Do we have a revenue figure, Sandy?
Yep, it's in the, profit loss. That's on your,
Yes. Not that it's a large amount, but it is something to also take into.
it's under revenue.
Yeah,
Yes,
In the first page under revenue, it's ordinance fine, it's line 4503. We budgeted 7,500 in ordinance fines and we're already up to 4,300, so we're way over what we thought would be this time of year, so.
But we also had, yeah, would that have been in this, that we had a couple major, the boy in the boot, other investigation times, and the vandalism.
Yeah, we had the
We had a
little
lot of-
farm stand theft down
Yeah.
south, which took a fair amount of video
Yeah.
time to get stuff for that.
All the investigation of the boy in the boot, and
We
then
did
this,
find that person, but
good job.
oh,
So 40,
And then the stuff at Elfin Lake, when they,
yes,
so all of those bigger things take a lot more manpower.
that's right.
so is 4503, is that the revenue from?
Ordinance, they're ordinance
Okay,
fines,
we're-
yes.
okay. That's what you're saying, okay, so.
We should increase the fines.
We
Kind
do.
of modest.
We do revenues in January, so we definitely can look at that number in January. And we'll have more data by then too.
Okay, that'd be good.
so Clarendon is interested in a cooperative thing. How do we know what that would be, what that would look like?
well, as I mentioned, if we would have a deputy assigned, and right now, you're split and Clarendon is split, so we have our schedule put out, and he may work Clarendon from 8 in the morning till noon. And then come here, those are not probably the accurate hours, but. And in that time frame, if something occurs here, we don't
Right.
break from Clarendon. We stay in Clarendon because that's their slotted time, and then you have your slotted time. If we combine the two, he starts in Clarendon and something happens here,
Yeah.
an accident or something like that, or
Right.
an incident at the school, they would immediately break and come down to.
But we would wanna have the same contract, the same hours, the same amount.
Yep, both towns would have the same amount of contractual hours that they decide that they want.
Mhm.
And we manage those hours internally inside that combined contract. So if you may have a big incident down here. So you may, week 1 of the month may take 70 hours. So if we have something where we have multiple people down here investigating, the following week, we would back your hours off.
Right.
So we don't shoot way over that number, and then focus more on Clarendon because they've obviously lost hours because we were working in Wallingford. It's the same thing we do with Proctor and West Rutland. So if we have something in West Rutland, we had a DUI accident with, anyway, like 60 hours in 1 week. The following week, we only did 20 hours in West Rutland, focused the rest back on Proctor to balance out so you don't get hit with a big extended bill that keeps going.
I'm wondering what level we have to come in to match them though.
Well, I mean, at the minimum, I would like to see you both at 30, to make it.
And they haven't said yet, or you haven't asked them?
I have spoke to them about increasing hours. They didn't seem interested. The little talk that I had with them, we could approach it again and see maybe for next contract if they wanted to do something more.
But they're at 30 already, you said.
They're currently at 30, yes. And that's where they started and that's where they've stayed.
So why don't we go to 30?
That's, I think, what we're talking about, maybe it's going.
Are we interested in that and going to
Yeah.
30?
Yeah, I mean, that was Ann's.
That was
suggestion.
Ann's,
I mean, that puts that increases that budget number by about 10,000.
about 10.
But it gives us the
Little shy,
opportunity
yes.
to combine with Clarendon
Yes,
if
it
we can
does.
work that out.
And if that's something that the board here is interested in, I'm more than happy to
Yeah.
be the go-between, speak with both parties. It really won't affect your contract, it
No.
affects the way we execute your contract.
Yeah.
Your hours are set, it doesn't affect your budget, your hours. It's administrative on our side, which is primarily my headache, is I manage all of those scheduling things. I monitor the hours every 2 weeks of where every town that we cover, and I reassign people, and I deal with all of that. So it really doesn't affect anything on your contract
Right.
to go cooperative, it's just how we manage that.
Sure.
But we want to make sure the town is happy
Yeah.
with how we manage that.
And if we wanted to increase hours, Clarendon doesn't at some point.
We
It still
can,
will work.
we can still do the
It doesn't
cooperative.
have to be actually.
It's
Correct, yeah.
easier administratively because it lets us do even splits on the
Yeah.
schedule, which makes that
Yeah.
side of it a lot
Yeah.
cleaner to manage.
Do we get quarterly reports or some sense of how the
We do.
distribution of
Yeah.
hours
Yes,
is
we do.
working?
Those are the ones that I include in your packet every month from the activity
Yeah.
reports.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So the difference there with those activity reports is right now, generally, Clarendon gets Wallingford, or gets 4 hours, Wallingford gets 4. So when you get your block, it's usually a 4-hour block. So what that might mean is, today, you may get a half hour here, and then an hour and a half, and then they may get called to Clarendon. Tomorrow, you may see a 5-hour block, and then a break and a half-hour block, because they're gonna be going in between. So you
Depending
may
on
see-
what the activity, what's
Correct.
going on there.
So it's
I
not
think
gonna
this is a
break
good
down
idea.
in those
So-
blocks, but
Right.
when
We'll
you
have to
add
see
all
if
those
Clarendon
together,
is- We'll have to
it
see if
totally.
Clarendon is interested.
Are you two aware
We
what
have to see
happens
if
when the
Clarendon
sheriffs
is
aren't on?
interested.
When they're not within the 24 hours, how we get our coverage, what happens?
We
if
could
have
tell
an issue?
them we're interested and say
That's what
30.
they're gonna do.
That's
Yeah.
when the state,
Oh, but I mean,
if they're
okay.
available,
State police.
or they say wait.
Okay.
yeah.
So that's why it's important for us to think about having more coverage here, so, because when there's stuff that goes on, some people don't always feel that they're getting what they need
Yeah.
Right.
to feel safe.
It does sound like if we increase it to 2, that's a help, and then if we were able to, combine with Clarendon, that would give us even more coverage. So I think
More
it's-
flexibility.
Right,
Right,
yes.
flexibility.
It's not coverage, it's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
flexibility.
flexibility, right.
It doubles the availability without an increase in the
Yeah, that's a
budget.
good distinction.
Yeah, it's just, we just gotta be clear for people.
Right.
It doesn't mean we're gonna have 40 hours.
Right, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna make a motion that for the fiscal year 27 budget, we increase our contract hours with the Rutland County Sheriff from 28 hours per week to 30 hours per week.
Second.
Any further discussion?
We did the discussion, didn't we?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank
For everything you do.
Yeah.
And the same thing will still apply if you're running into traffic issues where you're, I don't know, maybe Sandy or the board members, a lot of towns, they run into somebody at the gas station and they're like, wow, the speeders are off on our road. Please reach out to myself or Lieutenant and let us know. And we do our best to get somebody to spend at least some time in those areas and try to, a lot of times, just the car being there, people see it, will think about it the next time. Some people don't, but some do, they'll take the hint.
The only thing we ask with that is if it's gonna come through the board, try and get a name and a phone number for us of who the person is. Sometimes being able to contact them directly, we're able to pull some additional information that helps us resolve the issue. So it's hard when we get an email that just says, a resident said, it makes that a little more difficult.
So you just let us
All right.
know what Clarendon wants to do, and that's
Yeah,
great.
we'll let you know how we make out with Clarendon, and we'll go from there, and hopefully next budget we'll have that split going. All right,
Thanks a lot.
thank you, have a great evening.
You too. Good to see you both.
Okay. So now if we look at this public safety line, you will see that for 5402, the first constable stipend, our constable has resigned and we don't have a constable at this time. It was budgeted, as it has been, for $250. What would we like to do with this line?
Just to zero it.
What is the role of the constable?
Not much.
It's written out. You can,
I mean, he can serve at town meeting, he can remove somebody at town meeting if they get disruptive. They can shoot a deer that's injured, I mean, they can help serve, a civil process, something like that, but unless they have the law enforcement training, it's
Right.
very, very limited.
Yes.
Wasn't Nelson Tift the constable for years?
He was,
Because
but
he
a
did-
lot of the rules
She was a
changed.
police officer.
he was a police
He's also a
officer
police
too.
officer,
He
so.
was a qualified police, certified police officer.
Yes.
But the state
And,
really reeled in what
They made a new law.
was allowed to do.
Yes, really limited what a constable could do.
Yeah.
There were complaints that we didn't have police visibility on Halloween. Would the constable be able to
There's
play
nothing they
a
can
role?
do.
But even being there in a sort of uniform,
The issues was traffic violations, they can't do anything like that. Yeah.
So are other towns sort of losing their constables because they're getting stripped of responsibilities?
I don't know.
If they have a certified officer as one, it doesn't matter if he's constable, he could run for it or be appointed.
I don't know, I don't see many towns with them anymore.
No.
No.
I think we're one of the last in Vermont.
A lot of them just use the sheriff's department.
Right.
So,
Nelson got us a lot of money.
yeah,
He did.
it was very effective.
Yes.
I heard a lot about
And
it.
traffic was noticeably calm on Main Street.
Yeah.
Right.
You almost arrested the governor.
But yeah, I've heard about that too. But we couldn't get that model back. even if we wanted to.
That's
No.
not,
No, that's not law now.
right.
But, we do get the dividend, the money from the traffic violations, and that's what Nelson did, except he did a lot more.
That's all the constable did at that point.
Yeah,
Right.
Wasn't like a normal,
yeah.
there was no paperwork and stuff like our
That's
sheriffs
right.
have to do.
So, I mean, are we talking then, if we eliminate the stipend, are we eliminating just that position, like it wouldn't be on the ballot?
I think it's still a statutory position, I think you
Yeah.
have to still
We could-
have
we
a
could-
constable, you would still have to at least have it on your books.
Okay.
I mean, if it doesn't get taken, it just rolls in.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, if we end up with somebody who wanted to,
Yeah.
you know, serve at town meeting or do these little things, then we could still give them the $250 stipend.
If you put it in there, people will know that there's an office and $250 there if they wanna do it. But, you know, we could budget $250 and we don't spend it,
Right, it just rolls over.
and
Yes.
goes to zero.
So is that what we would like to do with this item? Just
Yeah, I guess.
budget the 250 and it might get used to, might not. So there we go with that. With our special officer contract, we've increased it by 2 hours.
Yep, so that would, I mean, it's like 58.6, I mean, you could just, round it up and say 59, or 89. 89.6,
So
or
say
86, just round it up to 89.
Are we good with that, bringing it to 89,000? We'll just round up. The dog warden stipend has been at $1,260.
I think he's happy with maintaining it at the same level. He did mention in an email over the weekend that was purchasing a number of small things that were gonna go a little over the 50 for the expense, so we might wanna boost that up to like 75.
But, so are we good, everybody, keeping this dog warden stipend, 5408 at 1,260?
He's okay with that?
He seems to be. And then he'd like us to increase the dog warden's expenses. It's gonna go a little bit over $50. Does he think that maybe 75 would do it?
Yeah.
So would we be comfortable going to $75 for 5410 dog warden expenses? Yeah. Okay. And there we are with public safety. Check.
Easy one.
Okay, we're now at town hall clock motor replacement. Are we at 710 yet? Still a
Well,
little
he said
early.
I could call him.
Oh, okay. And so we have the estimate in front of us for what it would take to fix the clock.
Right.
And this is the estimate? So it's like a little bit over $5,000.
It seems to tip it into a need to bid
Yes.
the amount.
Right?
And I'm calling Jeff right now.
Okay. Sandy's calling Jeff right now.
Hi Jeff, it's Sandy at Wallingford Town Hall. I have you on speaker with the select board. They just started looking at your information related to the clock. Okay, so do you have any questions for Jeff?
Will this work? When you fix it, will it be fixed?
Do you think this motor will get it going, Jeff? And can you tell us a little bit about it?
So it's a new PLC driven motor. It's basically taking the place of the old electric motor. All the mechanical gears and stuff all stay up there. From what I can read, it looks like it's got a battery backup to where if for some reason you guys lose power, excuse me, it looks like it automatically resets itself. It's not a company or a product I've worked with before, but they seem to have pretty good reviews from what I saw online.
Is this the only place you can get this equipment?
It's the only place I've found that has anything available that's kind of a directed bolt-in type thing. There's a lot of stuff out there where they want to sell you basically a brand new system.
Right.
The other option is just try to keep sourcing the old motor, but that motor hasn't been built since the 70s. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a,
Right.
I know we tried buying one off eBay to try to piece it together, but unfortunately,
Yeah.
the one you guys found on site and the one that we got off eBay were slightly different, so we weren't able to kind of piece everything together.
Have you ever done something like similar to this before, Jeff?
As far as like upgrading from like a standard to kind of a PLC motor,
Okay.
But this would be kind of something new on my end. Electrically speaking, it looks pretty straightforward. But just because I haven't worked with it before, I know I did put some extra labor in it, just in case I ran into some issues.
Okay.
What does that mean, the PLC-based controller? What does that PLC mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard, Glenn, he said, what does the PLC mean?
PLC is basically a programmable logic control, which basically is nothing more than a little computer chip. So basically all they're doing with that computer chip stuff is basically keeping the time. The motor has a built-in sensor, so in that computer chip it actually knows where the motor is. That's how it kind of knows if you lose power, where to go, when to reset itself.
It looks like, I don't know if you can hear me, it looks like it's just a matter of setting like the current time and then letting it go?
Yeah, from everything I've read on it, is basically just you go in, do a simple program, set the time, and then it kind of just takes off and does its own thing.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any further questions?
Should be what we need.
Okay. I think because of the cost of the estimate, we're gonna have to research and see if we can find any other bidders on this,
Yeah.
as per our purchasing policy.
And I think we should evaluate, is this where we should actually be putting our money at this time too?
There's that question too.
Because I mean, who looks at, I mean, it's,
Well, I think it's symbolic. I think it's important to have it running, so it says
when has it ever run?
Huh?
I've never noticed it running. Does it run? When was
Yeah.
it
Yes,
ever
it
ran?
does. Yes, it does.
Okay,
For
I'm just saying, it's
for
not
100
like,
years.
it's symbolic more in what it looks like, but not necessarily running.
It's the kind of thing, I don't know, it's like, to me, it's like, you drive into town, you can see the clock tower doesn't work. It's like going to someone's website that hasn't been updated in 2 years. And
I
you're
lived
like,
here 43 years and I couldn't even tell you it ran.
yeah, but I mean, I looked at it.
No, I know, I'm just saying it's, we have a lot of very expensive, more
Oh, yeah,
needed
absolutely.
things we have to get
Yeah,
fixed.
yeah, absolutely. It
Then
has to be-
we've already had to fix one symbolic thing. Maybe we need to wait.
I mean, it's definitely something that we need to
Because
talk about, but yeah.
we're looking at a $5,000
So,
more in the
Can we
boot.
can we
Plus the
let
base.
Jeff go since
Yes.
he's done his presentation?
Yeah, yeah.
Jeff, thank you so much for your presentation. We have to discuss this further and see about if we can find anybody else to bid because of our purchasing policy, but we thank you for your time and we will be back in touch with you on this.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Jeff, thank you so
If you have
much.
any other questions, go ahead and reach out.
Thank you.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
I wanna
There.
accept this estimate and tell them to go ahead.
The problem is that we need other bids.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Oh, it's
According to our
policy.
purchasing policy.
Yeah, well,
Yes, we
we'll make
do.
another policy right now. It's gotta be $10,000. Not,
I don't think we want to change our policy just because of this.
Right.
I mean, it should be simple enough to find another, I mean, is it just an electrician that we have to contact, or is it have to be a particular type of?
Well, for years and years and years, we had Alan Grace, the clock doctor from Middletown
Right,
Spring,
right.
has been babysitting it forever.
Yeah.
And Alan's just not making the calls anymore. I had hoped it was something simple. Jeff does a lot of electrical work in the building and he tried. He initially hoped it could be just a few $100s fixing a piece on the motor. That turned out not to be the case. So then he said this is what it would cost if you have to replace the motor. So maybe we could get other electricians to do something similar, or
Maybe get a couple more bids.
Yeah, I really appreciate the time he put
Oh,
in
yeah.
trying to
Yes.
troubleshoot this. I think it's very important, but I also agree with Carolyn that it's a big ticket item at this point and we need to triage what we can do this year.
And I
But
think,
saying
yeah.
that, I think symbolism is important. I think coming into town and seeing a clock that works on town hall says something about town hall and government here.
And if it doesn't work, it says something about town hall too.
It does,
Yeah.
yes.
we're spending so much on money.
I think this is a good discussion. Yeah. And I think maybe our best tack right now is see about if we can find any other people who can bid on this and then see what they come in at. And we can use that as part of the discussion.
And even keep it, if there's unexpended money in the next cycle, that we could grab it and get it done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That would
We do
be-
have the building fund too.
And there is a building fund.
Right.
Yes.
That building fund is a hit lot though.
Lately it has.
And we
Not
still-
so much in the past, but lately it has.
I mean, and we know there's a lot more of the stuff that's gonna have to get fixed in the different, in like the concession building down at Elfin Lake, there's a lot of other things that we have to.
And it is true.
That, yes, that's symbolic, is important, but what's more important is having running bathrooms. That looks worse than a clock.
Okay.
Or sidewalks.
Any other further discussion on the clock right now? I think we can move on.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. This was a good conversation. We are now moving on to fiscal year 27 budget, town government. Okay. So Jill, I think we're gonna have you go through this with us.
Yep.
Okay. And so we can set the line items at any amount. Below are some recommendations, and other lines were intentionally left blank for our consideration.
So the elections, there are 3 elections coming up in this budget year. So I reached out to another clerk, an experienced one in another town, and that was the amount she suggested. Might be a little high, but
So this is 5112, elections in
5112,
town
yeah.
meeting. And you can see the budgeted amount of $4,500.
and I did go back a couple years before this, and it was, up to like 3,800 a few years back, at other years with 3 elections. So that was just, she said it might be a little high, but better to, because, each LHS, the memory cards for them to build in the election and the ballots, nothing's getting cheaper.
How often do we have 3 elections in a year?
Every 2?
Every 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
same as the legislature.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's, we have a primary in August, general in November, and then
Town
in
meeting.
March, town meeting.
Okay. So basically, the prices jumped about $3,000.
Well, I don't know exactly, but
Last-
like I said, yeah, it would, because there was only 1 election last year, March.
Okay.
So,
And that was the 24-25 year.
yeah.
Okay.
So I just, like I said, I reached out to Dorset, that town clerk's been down there for 20 years, and that is what she suggested. And she said it could be a little high,
All right.
but I wouldn't do less than 4,000.
Okay. So what would we like to do? Where would we like
It'd be
to?
better to be high and not use it.
Do we want to do the 4,500 or 4,000?
45.
45?
45.
45 sound good? Okay. 45 it is. We're now down to item 5113, town report.
We already, I think we should bump it up a little bit. Rutland Printing, we've used them for a number of years. They've already quoted us for this year, for the upcoming town report, close to $2,600. Then we're gonna pay $500 to $700 for postage.
Okay.
So we would be butting up against $3,300 this year with our budget at $3,150. So
Okay.
I think we need to bump it up at least to 33.
Are we good with this? Mm-hmm. Okay. It is increased to 3,300. 5114 office expenses.
Do we
And
have to
basically
use
a
much of
level
that?
funding.
Is that, do we generally use that 15? It looks like you haven't used much of it this year. So.
Oh, that's just so far though. Yeah, if you look last year, we actually used just under 14,000,
Yeah.
so. Again, nothing is getting cheaper.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we don't use the whole 15, but
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we're good with the 15 level fund? Okay. Level finding that. Item 5114A, delinquent collector office expenses. Last time we budgeted, let's see.
Didn't
And
spend anything?
Well, we did, but
yeah, Julie, the biggest expense in that is envelopes, and
Oh.
she's using my envelopes from last year, she'll just have to put labels over them. So she said because they're prepaid.
so we can zero?
Yeah,
level?
that's what she
Zero fund?
suggested was.
I'm good with that. Is everybody else good with that?
That's good. Yeah.
Okay. Great. 5115 legal expenses. It was budgeted in the 24-25 at 3. The use was 12. This year was budgeted at 3. And it looks like right now we've used 160, but the year is new.
We will have, the townwide reassessment, and I don't know if anything, well, it's BCA and stuff, but sometimes the covers get involved.
Okay.
I don't know, I haven't been on this end of a townwide reappraisal, but I
So
know
what
that.
do we think? Do we want to lower it at all or keep it at the 3?
I would keep it at 3 because,
With the town.
we sent a letter to, Bruce Morton's to see if he's, from the Board of Civil Authority, to see if he's still a voter.
Yes.
And he's gonna say he is, and whatever Board of Civil Authority does, if they take him off, we're gonna go to court. So, we should keep it there.
And we also have the town, like Jill said about the townwide assessment.
I mean, I don't know how much legal will be involved, but if somebody goes beyond the BCA,
Yes.
then it has to go.
Okay. Okay. 5116, planning and zoning notices. Before
We
we
can put that
use.
down, maybe 500.
16. Yeah, what do we think about that, about decreasing it to 500?
Yeah.
Okay, a decrease to 500 on that one. 5117 ads and warnings.
Almost doubled.
Yes. We're at about 44% and we're only, how many months into the fiscal year?
But we also have to,
for ads and warnings for, actual, for 25, we
Yes,
budgeted 750 and we spent 1,100.
yes.
yeah,
And we're staying within budget right now, but who knows? Do
but I
we
think you
want,
have to warn elections and all that stuff.
And we have 3 of them that.
We have 3 of them and,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we probably
So
need to
do-
increase it.
do we want to
I wouldn't
increase
lower
this?
it.
Do we want to increase this to, say, 1,100?
Has the Herald, because that's where we do most of our warnings, right?
Yeah.
Have they increased their prices?
I haven't really paid attention
I'm wondering if
to.
that's why it's,
I
they
think we'll keep
probably,
it at 750.
And it also depends on how many DRBs have to go
Right.
and all
Well,
that, you know,
I mean, I
so.
know a lot of their other prices.
I
were
would probably go with
increased, so
similar what we paid out last year, then
Yeah.
1,100.
Probably,
That's why I was thinking the 1,100. Are we okay with that?
Or should we go, I mean, we're 1,124 last year, but we know we're gonna have more elections.
Yeah.
I'm
but we need more.
listening here.
Maybe
So
just-
15, 13?
We could go 13. What do
But
we
we
think
had a
of
few
that?
businesses open, which were DRBs and mornings, which we might not this
1,200.
time, so
Do you wanna do 12?
it's a guess, right?
I don't know why we're doubling it. Are we doubling it?
Because we budgeted for 24-25, 750, and our actual was
Oh.
400 over that. And so we have a lot going on this year with ads and warnings, 3 elections and other things. And so we think we need to increase it. We're thinking of increasing it to 12, close to what we spent. So we spent last fiscal year, 1,100, a little over 1,100. So if we increased it to 12.
That sounds good.
So 1,200 for 5117. 5118, seminars, meetings, and mileage.
My suggestion is to increase it there's a lot of really good trainings out there, and with Kim and I being new, and, you know, I know she would like to go to some, and, you know, the Burlington one, you know, it's quite a ways away, and they can be pricey, and, you know, and I didn't go, but she went, and, you know, there's a lot of trainings that I would like us both to be able to go to.
What if we doubled that amount instead of tripling it? What if we did 1,000 instead of 1,500?
Sure, I mean, it was just a suggestion.
Yes. So what do we think? I'm suggesting 1,000 instead of 1,500. Do we want to do the 1,500, or do you want to go with the figure I was thinking of, 1,000? That would double it.
And I think that might be good. It seems like we're increasing everything a little bit.
That's what I was thinking.
So 1,000?
Yeah.
So we're good with 1,000 on that one? So 1,000 for seminars, meetings, and mileage. 5122, records restoration.
Just level funding it.
So last year we spent 4,400, 4,450,
Right.
and this year we haven't spent anything so far. Does that hit at some particular time of the year?
We did some updated, digitizing last year too, and
Okay.
stuff, so
Okay.
I don't think we're expecting.
So this is a suggestion to level fund this one? Are we good with that? Okay. So we're level funding that. Okay, Memorial Day expenses. It's been at 300, and it looks like the suggestion is to keep level funding this.
They're not getting any cheaper.
Are we good with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent 270 last year.
Yep. So we will level fund at the 300. We're on to 5125 VLC dues. We have a figure for this one.
I mean, that's what it's gonna be, so.
Yeah.
So the 4234 is what we're budgeting.
Yep.
Because that's what it's gonna be.
Same thing with 5126, that's what it's gonna cost.
5126. The dues will be 2130. So we will keep it at the 2130. 5130 workplace safety expenses. It looks like the suggestion is to level fund this item. Okay, we will level fund dog license fees to state of Vermont. Jill wants to level fund at 3,500. The revenue is listed on line item 4510.
Right.
So we budgeted 7,000 for that. And so we would be, for expense, about half that amount.
We have to send $7 per dog license to the state. and we're up over 500
Okay.
to the state.
All right.
Or 500 registered, like 525 or something last I knew. We used to be under 500 dogs that were registered, so
Okay.
the more we get, the more we pay,
So
the more,
this sort of pays for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
yeah,
It does, same with civil marriages.
yeah.
So keep that amount at 3,500, everyone? 5134 civil marriage license fees to state of Vermont, similar to what we just discussed.
We had
Last
more than
year,
usual last year, so that's
14
fine.
marriage applications. That's unusual to have that many?
Well, it didn't used to be, but it was, with the White Rock Sin, we used to do a lot more, and then it stopped when they, you know, but we did 14 last year, so pick back up.
Okay. So Jill would like to increase that amount from the 650 we budgeted for 25-26 and increase it to 780. Are we all good with that? Okay, we are good with that. Great. I think we're on to town government operations. 5135, Wallingford flag expenses. The recommendation is to level fund at 250. And we're trying to steadily replace poles. So are we good with that, everyone? Okay. Transfer station. Any suggestions on this one? Looks like, where are we at for this year?
So, yeah, so far this year, we spent 38,000.
So we're sort of on track with that one.
Yeah.
Last year spent 95.
Okay. So are we on track?
Seems like that. I mean, we're 5 months into the year, we spent
Yeah.
that much, that sounds about right.
Yep. So is everyone good with level funding this at 100,000? Okey dokey. Moving on to 5151 town hall operating expenses.
What is that?
Town hall operating expenses?
Yeah.
It's in your.
It's in your memo. It's oil, electricity, telephone, internet, the annual elevator inspection repairs, the fire alarm, fire extinguisher,
Oh,
mowing,
the operating.
water and
Yeah.
sewer,
Oh, good.
you
Thank
know.
you.
Should that go down with the electricity?
We don't know yet.
So
Yeah, hopefully.
Jill's calling for just a wee bump up 500 to 22?
I mean, I don't know.
I
It's
say,
hard to-
without us having more data than we do right now, I think that's a reasonable.
Well, because, you know, we've got heat pumps, but we don't quite have a full year of those yet, and
Right.
solar's gonna kick in, but we won't have data on that yet,
Right.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll go down, other stuff will go up.
If it stays this cold all year, then you're gonna have to be more.
Yes, there's that. So we're good with the 22?
Yep.
Okay. 5153 cemeteries.
We have the, reserve fund, so,
Okay. So 0.
yeah.
We're good with that number. 5155 Rutland County tax.
This is just, I mean, this is
Yeah.
what we get charged. They don't set their budget until very end of December. I mean, if it changes a little bit and it's a little lower, we can come back to this one, but
Alright,
that might be good to level fund it.
okay. Are we good with that? Okay. 5157 Conservation Commission. The recommendation is to level fund. Are we good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay. 2,500.
Where does that money go? I mean, what do we spend that on?
Bees, I don't know.
They do a lot of maintenance at the
They do.
ballpark, mowing and,
Yeah,
the bees.
Yeah.
Actually, the bees are supposed to raise their own,
They raise their own,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's like everything
They're preparing
else.
honey now for sale, and that will cover
gonna
costs
offset
of
some of it.
bees.
Some of it.
But it's still weird. Here and then the revenue on the other side.
Right. But there's everything else that conservation does. Okay, at 5158 Energy Committee.
So just, you know, in FY '24, they had a budget of 2,500 and they spent 2,450. So they do use up their budgets.
So the recommendation to level fund at 500. 5160 Communications Group Expenses.
What is the communications group?
The newsletter.
Newsletter.
Oh, the newsletter.
And they basically, do they fund themselves?
Pretty much,
Yes, yeah.
yeah, through, because, you know, the advertisements in the newsletter,
Yes.
that funds them and their fundraisers and, but, you know, the expenses for the
Yes.
paper and.
So the suggestion is to level fund at 5,500.
Good.
Okay. 5161 Wallingford Asset Fund Expenses. And it looks like the recommendation on this is 0.
Yeah, we're not gonna budget anything for that. That's just a fund we hold, so.
Okay.
Just have to carry it through.
What was the 21.5 spent on? There was a, am I looking at this wrong, that number, there's a 21,500?
I think, wasn't there more for the East Wallingford Fire Department spend on the asset fund?
Yes.
Yeah, they
Okay.
bought a
Yes.
truck and,
Yep.
Okay.
We discussed that.
mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
So that was some ARPA money?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the asset fund,
Yes.
asset fund is about.
We changed its name to the asset fund so that we
Yep.
could
Okay, gotcha.
have control of all of it and not
Yep.
lose any. And now we're on 5540 miscellaneous expenses. And that is 0. Okay. Great. Okay, so now, and that is town government. So now we're looking at fiscal year 27 budget capital. Capital planning and establishing a new reserve fund. Okay. So as you can see, below are the fund balances as of October 31st to assist with adding to the capital line items in your draft budget.
Did you get the revised one?
Yep.
It's this one,
Yes.
right? Okay, so we have a revised copy in front of us. Okay. So now, we have an email and draft plan from Glenn.
Yeah, so I could go over these
Sure.
two handouts, two like spreadsheet.
That would be great.
things. One's called capital improvement plan budget, and one's just called the let me go through. There's one, the other looks like this, with the blue header row there. So what I did with this is try to map out our big capital expenses that are staring us in the face. And obviously we have the sidewalk project, and we've talked about that. Got the total estimated cost here and the grants, and then we have the amount that we set aside for ARPA, and there's an additional amount that we're allocating from ARPA, 54,883, and we still need to find, and we talked about this last time, about 50 grand
Yeah.
to finish our thing there. So I just put that out there as a first line item. I'm not sure where that's gonna hit, but I think we're all aware of that one.
Yes.
Yeah, for that one. Next item on there is the sand and salt shed, and I'm just putting 350 grand in there for that. Best estimate is what we're looking at.
Okay.
Nice to be able to get it cheaper. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, in there, the way I have it sort of laid out in this spreadsheet is assuming that we're gonna have this reserve fund that's gonna have extra money that we're gonna contribute to. I'll talk about how that's, thinking on that has evolved.
Okay.
But I basically said, okay, if that was 350 grand, if we borrowed 200 grand, we had some from our highway fund and from our reserve fund, that would, partially offset that, and we'd have some debt that we'd have to do.
Okay.
So that's, looking at that next year, that's probably our most immediate priority. The year after that, there's a dump truck that we've already contracted to buy. It's supposed to be ready in 2 years or so. The price on that was $285.
Yes.
Another big chunk of change that we have to think about how we're gonna pay for. I put again a debt amount here, plus our existing highway fund and reserve fund to hopefully cover that cost.
Okay.
And then I spent an interesting about 2 hours down at the town garage with Steve and Phil, walking around, looking at all their equipment. And they have a backhoe loader there that's from 2011. And I said, how many hours are on that thing? And so we looked and it's 7,900 or something. And then I looked up, what's the average lifespan of a backhoe loader? And it's about 8,000 hours. So I'm like, okay, well that's got to be in the queue to replace that too. And it's already had a lot of service done to it.
Gotcha.
So I put that in as the next year's backhoe loader. And I looked online and it seems like you could get one for about 100 grand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not in 2021.
We'll see, maybe a couple years down the road it'll be more. But I needed a figure to stick there, so. And maybe we'll use one, who knows. So that's sort of laying out what I see as big capital expenses coming down the next few years. And there may be others, but these are like big ones, the big that we know about. So, and so I thought, well, okay, this is, and I laid out the amount of debt we would need, and assuming that if we could get a reserve fund that we funded by 100,000 each year, that's how this would play out. So I went through all that, and I said, well, the thing I didn't include in that was actually servicing the debt. Because if we take in this debt, we gotta be paying principal and interest on it, if it's just a regular bank loan.
Right.
So that's the second spreadsheet, the one with the numbers in red, in addition to everything.
There we go, yes.
And so what I did here is actually included the debt service as an expense. I went in through the next 5 years and what that would look like. And again, the actual debt amounts are a little higher because we're going to have an extra expense of paying principal and interest on the debt.
Right.
So it pays for everything and tries to keep a positive balance in the highway fund in case something else comes up.
Right.
I'd rather not drain that down to zero. The first table there is the balance sheet. It just starts with a starting balance and then your expenses, and your income and your ending balance. Goes through 5 years. It has us borrowing a little under $500,000 over the course of 3 years to pay for this stuff. And also figures that second item, the new funding 120, that's, so my thinking here was when I looked at this first sheet, all our expenses were highway related. And we're talking about coming up with a reserve fund. And Ann and I talked about this and said, would it be simpler and maybe go down easier with just like, it would be more clear to explain to the voters that we're just going to fund the highway fund to a greater extent rather than establish a new reserve fund. And maybe down the road, we could establish a new reserve fund when our expenses weren't all just like looming over our shoulder in all highway funds. So that 120, what that is, $20,000 that we currently put in the highway fund each year, plus an extra 100 grand in the highway fund. I know this is a big number, but I want to put it out there so we can see what the effect is.
Yes.
So with that, again, we get new debt each year for the next 3 years.
Yes.
We pay for those big acquisitions, the sand shed and the dump truck and the backhoe loader.
Yeah.
And then by fiscal year 30, I have us starting to pay down the principal on the debt. So it's a big deal. I mean, we'd be spending 65 grand a year on principal and interest payments on the, and now, so my assumption here is a bank loan, 10-year loan at 7%. I don't know how realistic that is at this point.
You talk to Chuck.
Well, so Kim, the assistant clerks, contacted her husband, and what is his position?
He's a
What do you do?
municipal banker.
The inside word there, don't you?
Yeah.
So he said you can't, equipment loans have to be 7 years or less, they won't give you something for 10.
Okay.
Because the right of the piece of equipment will be about 7 years.
Okay.
So, but there's also the municipal equipment fund that the state runs. What we've done in the past is, say like this new dump truck, comes in, the state's municipal equipment fund, you can only apply twice a year. So on occasion, we've done short-term loans for the bank to buy it. And then when you apply to the state fund, then you just, pay off the bank, refinance, usually a lot lower.
Yeah, they're like 2%,
noticeably.
2
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow, okay.
right,
That'd make a huge difference in these numbers.
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, if we could talk maybe more about
Right.
like the actual,
I think so too, yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great, because then I could redo these, it'd probably
Right.
look a lot nicer.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
Yeah, because, like, I went into a loan calculator and saw what the defaults were, and I was like, 10 years, it's 7%.
Yeah.
Just to give us a ballpark.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
There's a lot of great planning though.
And then, so the last table here is just the loan amortization, what that would look like. Again, it's all based on these 10-year loans at 7%, so. It's a straw man to put in front of you, and start thinking about, like, we've got these known big expenses out there that
Yes.
we're gonna have to borrow money to get. I don't know how feasible, like, in terms of increasing the contribution to the highway fund by 100,000, it's a
Yes.
big deal. It's a budgetary impact, it's a tax impact.
Yes.
I don't know how that, like, do we do that, just put it in the budget and put it up for a vote, or do we have to do a special item for that?
We could put it in the budget, couldn't we?
Yeah, you could, right? Yeah.
And we could put out an explanation. We could have your figures, what's coming up,
Right.
why we're thinking about this, how it's all going to, with loans and everything, how that's all gonna average out. We put it in the document when we go ahead and present the budget. And, and we present to voters that way as to why we're making this decision. And maybe we can get an idea of how much that increases the taxes by as well.
I know that, so it was in, Hotley, I think, just had actually a bond issue fail. And they actually had a number, like they said, this was gonna, for every $100,000 of property value, your tax was gonna go up by like $30 or something like that. I don't know if we can get to that kind of number in Wallingford, but
Yeah, we could do something.
Yeah, I mean, Julie's created such good, Excel spreadsheets with all
Yes.
these calculations. It wouldn't be perfect, but
right, but a general
the
idea.
general
Right.
idea.
How much people's tax, because that might be a question that we get.
It's gonna be a tough sale year with our property values doubling with the townwide reappraisal.
Maybe do one that has more of a staggered increase.
I mean, it just means,
Might be a way to look at it too, is.
right, we could do that, it just means we have to borrow more money.
No, I know.
That's true. Yeah.
But to get something to pass and get
Yeah.
anything, we may need to,
Right.
the problem, this needed to have started
Years ago.
years
Yes,
ago.
yes.
So now we are dealt with how to deal with it.
Right, well, that's why,
And I
I'm
think-
looking at like, oh my God, it's like,
When
the
we
next couple of years,
present-
we got $700,000 of expenses.
Yeah.
When we present it to the voters, I like your idea of like a gradual increase. And then we can bring up how other towns are budgeting, have budgeted in the past, and that we haven't done that, and that we're sort of playing catch up now.
I know that, like, I don't know everyone's budget, but I know Clarendon, like, we put 20,000 a year into the highway fund.
Yes.
Clarendon is 100.
Wow.
So,
Yep,
It's, with a lot of things, we are behind.
yeah,
and maybe we can see what other towns do.
With the appraisals coming in where we know the reason's gonna be higher, we're already gonna have that sticker shock. That's gonna be shocking.
When do people get the reappraisal?
In the spring,
When,
in the spring.
But it doesn't necessarily mean their taxes are gonna go
No,
up, right?
but they're gonna have to go up. I mean, our values are gonna double, the tax rates go down, but
Right.
I think we're gonna.
And there was
Yeah.
a report today on the news that the average amount that people's
Yes.
property taxes
For
will increase
education.
is 14%. And that's just for education.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's
that's
not for.
that's not a
reappraisal.
reappraisal town,
No.
that's
Right,
just from the state.
That's just from the state.
And then each town will give their own, or school district.
Because it's a statewide reappraisal that's going on right now.
So every town, even within our supervisory union, will have a different rate.
Yes.
Yeah. But, so I basically put this together, I think, because we've been talking about the idea of a reserve fund. I think maybe that at this moment, that's not really the best option, and maybe it makes more sense to just try to push some more money into the highway fund.
I mean, I think it would be
Yes.
good to start going this way,
Yes.
but just steps.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, Like, with the understanding that, like, if we don't fund that, we're gonna have to borrow some money. And
So if we.
whatever we don't collect from the residents, we're gonna have to borrow. So-
And we can let the townspeople know that we kept in mind the increasing in expenses in other places, and that we're trying to be mindful of the pocket.
But every year things are going to keep increasing
They
too.
are.
These prices and estimates are also going to increase as we
Right,
go down. the road.
exactly.
So we
So
have to start
We
planning.
need to start planning for it.
So I like your idea of having, and naming it the highway fund and explaining it,
Yes.
Yeah,
because everybody uses the roads.
right.
So one
it's a
thing
little-
people agree on paying extra for, pretty much.
Yes. Yep.
So I don't, like,
Fine.
I don't think we have to just decide right now on the figure. I'd love to get more information on the loans,
Yes.
and I think we could get a
I
better
think
idea
that's-
of how
That
it's
would,
going to work.
that would be good to have.
Yeah.
Glenn, thank you so much for
Yeah, sure.
all your work, and Ann as well, thank you. And now we're talking about within this, we're not done.
Do you want
Okay.
Did you want to address the vote?
And so then we have an email from Ann regarding the reserve fund.
no, I think we covered that.
So we're good.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Okay. Great, so we are moving on. Thank you, Anne, and thank you, Glenn. This was very helpful. Okay. Annual gift certificates for employees. So last year, the board approved $50 grocery store gift certificates, and it would be to the town employees. Would we like to do that again this year?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes. Where, is there a line item in the budget that covers that?
I think it's office expense.
Office expense.
Office expenses?
Yeah.
I think considering the price of groceries, we should increase the
75.
75.
I was
75?
thinking it's like, well, yeah.
Incremental.
Right, because,
Right.
yeah, 50 isn't gonna get you much
Yeah.
right now.
Inflation, at
Okay,
least.
so are we good with 75?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be good with
75
100.
is. Okay, and now let's see. We're on to the boy with the boot. Northeast LLC 3D. And we have a draft agreement. So if we can look at that right now.
Do we know who their partner is for painting? Is it just a finish and paint to match original colors professional partner?
He said in his bid that he had somebody that does their painting. It wouldn't be anybody we,
You can paint it.
Well, did he say he actually worked with someone who does?
Yeah, it looks like
paints?
mainnature.art or something.
Yes.
if you
Yeah, like
look
he
at-
actually does paints outdoor sculptures or something.
mainnatureart.com would be who would do it.
There's a long tradition of citizens painting the boy.
Right, and repairing the boy.
But it
It
was painting over what was there, so they had guidelines, so that's a little different though.
And also it started losing all sorts of detail
Yeah.
because there were layers of paint
Right.
on top of this.
And the quality of paint being used was not.
I mean, like in-
correct paint.
10 years if it needs to be repainted again, or 7 years.
Exactly,
The
but-
community, but
Yes.
this first one, and I think they put a special coating.
So it will endure for a while.
right.
Okay.
Depending on what kind of paint you put on.
Well, that's
And then,
it, but
That's
that's
get the
why
same
how the
paint.
professionals. do it.
That's why we're having a professional
Okay,
done.
okay.
Okay,
I
so
mean, pristine for his presentation.
does anyone have any changes that they would like to make to this agreement? No?
Any changes to what?
Any changes to this? Okay. And would you like to authorize me to sign this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it.
It is a yes.
Okay.
Moving on,
Bridge 15. That's right.
scheduling a public hearing scoping report, Bridge 15. We have from VTrans, from Laura J. Stone, that the scoping report for Bridge 15 over the Mill River has been completed.
So right now, they're just asking for a date for a public hearing, and they need at least 30 days notice to start getting the word out.
Okay.
You said January, didn't you?
Well, I think, yeah,
Huh?
not,
January 19th?
well, I think it should be either second meeting, and they'd like to do it in the middle of a meeting, exactly. 30 minutes presentation, 30 minutes question, answer. They'd like to do it at a
Yeah.
select board meeting. I think
Oh,
it's not a good idea to do it
No.
until we get the budget done, so either late January or early February.
Yeah.
so if they'd like to do it during the select board meeting, yes.
Yes.
Then I think that makes sense for the second meeting in January or the first meeting in February. Do we have a preference? Second meeting in January, first meeting in February, doesn't matter? How about the second meeting in January?
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
So,
Within
someone,
2 years.
did you, Sandy, mention like possibly having it, the meeting in East Wallingford, since that's.
Well, I mean, I think Ann mentioned that in East Wallingford, but when we had the public hearing upstairs 2 years ago.
It was packed.
It was packed.
Oh, really?
And these folks are actually here for the Bridge 15,
Okay,
Oh,
so,
okay,
you know,
okay, so we can expect people to.
Yeah, yes, that's,
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think there's a space big enough.
yeah, yeah, that's what it sounds like, we're gonna have that
Right.
many people, certainly not.
Yeah.
Okay,
And so I think we have some comments on Bridge 15.
yeah.
Wonderful. Can you state your name, please?
Yes, Sandra Hochberg, I
Thank
live on Village Street.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to say here?
No, I'm just gonna go with you.
Oh, Jesus.
Leanne Dunno, Village Street.
Thank you.
We had, first of all, I misunderstood. I thought that Laura was going to be here tonight.
No,
So this is
no, no.
just scheduling.
This is just scheduling, yes.
But can I ask, I don't know if this answer's known yet, Sandy, is the bridge going to be kept closed and the decision, or what the meeting in January will be about is whether they're going to build a pedestrian bridge and if Wallingford is taking it?
Yeah, it sounds from what Laura
Yes.
emailed.
Yes.
I sent this board the scoping report, and the bridge will stay closed.
Yeah.
And then the discussion will be around a pedestrian bridge.
Okay. As you can imagine, that thrills those of us on Village Street to no end, but not everyone was happy about it.
Is it possible for the public to see the draft scoping report?
Yeah, we can put it on the website.
We have a link to the scoping report, and so Sandy just said we can put it on the website.
Yeah,
I'd like to see what they've come up with.
I skipped most of the scoping report, just went to the conclusion. And just the way it was worded, like recommends that the bridge stay closed. I didn't know if that was their final decision, or if that was still open to discussion, or if just the discussion was the pedestrian bridge or not.
It just sounds like it's an enormous expense that they're not willing to
Yeah, well,
undertake, so.
yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense, but I know not everyone feels that way.
Right, but it looks like from the email that we received that it's, the opinion's going towards the pedestrian.
Got it. All right.
I just have a question about the plowing. Now, does the state of Vermont plow Village Street? Or
Yes.
is-
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and that will continue with?
Yes.
Yeah, they tried to give it to the town
And we
a number of
refused.
years ago, and we said, no, thank you.
We said, no, thank you, that was the best decision we ever made.
Yes, it really was.
So, but do I understand it correctly though, so Wallingford has to decide, I guess you guys mostly, have to decide if the walking bridge is built, then Wallingford is responsible for maintaining Village Street and the bridge? The
I think
walking
it's a
bridge?
state highway, the state takes care of it,
Yeah.
period.
Right.
State highway.
Right, but the way I understood it is they want Wallingford to approve the walking bridge, and if the walking bridge is approved, then Wallingford is responsible for maintaining it.
I think that's one reason why we're having the meeting, is to
Okay.
find out these details.
Okay, yeah.
And you know that it's gonna be the second meeting in January, that we're gonna have Laura here.
Yes,
Okay?
got it, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you everyone, have a good holiday season.
Thank you. Too. Okay.
Stupid question. Since the state takes care of Village Street, that was when it was the connector to the different highways. That's now, would not be a state highway.
Well, it still is.
Could they change their opinion upon that? Because it's now,
They can't make us take that.
that's what I was just wondering if they can, because it really
It's
has
still
no,
part of 155.
it is, but,
They tried before to give it to us.
well, I know before, but that was when the bridge was there. And they had to go over the bridge to
It's
I
plow
think
it.
it's something we can, find out for sure.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
I know.
As best we can.
Just thinking, because they have a point now to jump off saying, we don't have any reason to go down that road now.
Well, unless they're gonna throw up all of 155,
That's right.
they can't make us take it. They begged us to take 140 west, and
Yes. Yep. Okay. Moving on to agenda building. I think right now, we have plenty of agenda to cover. Okay. Select board comments and concerns. Okay. Let's see, other business, Erica Burning has provided the following update. The Rutland Regional Planning Commission related to the East Wallingford Communication Tower.
so that, demonstration is not gonna take place tomorrow. That's been postponed to possibly Wednesday. They'll let us know around noon tomorrow.
Okay.
And the only question Mr. Parisi wanted to know is if you wanted a scheduled meeting with him before the application's actually filed.
Do you want to schedule a meeting with Mr. Parisi?
At what point do, looks like the public get to, I mean, would that be a meeting that the public would come to as well?
Yes, yep.
It seems like we should,
So I think we probably should.
there could be people who want to attend. I
Mm-hmm.
assume.
Right.
My thought is if they hear something from the public before they file the application that could maybe work out in everybody's favor, maybe they adjust it before the application's even filed. I don't know, maybe not, but, so.
When do we think this meeting would occur?
Why don't I tell him you're interested and see
Okay.
if he throws us some dates?
Okay. Are we good with that, saying we're interested and then he'll help provide some dates.
Almost wondering if it should be January 19th?
The second meeting in January?
We'll see, I'll suggest that if you want, and then we can find, yes.
I'm just
And then
thinking,
because
because
it's Wallingford, yeah.
got all my neighbors there, let's just have them.
Right. 2 for 1. The only change would be is if they had planned on filing it earlier.
Right,
Exactly.
We
Might be
could,
too
we'll
late.
throw that,
Yeah.
we can throw that date out.
Just, because we're already.
I was actually thinking the same thing.
Very good.
Okay,
All right.
do we have a motion?
Adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So moved.